getting it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Joy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the power band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my intrepid companions. Head in a jar he go.
Hi.
Jar in a jar head go.
Jar in a jar head go. And of course, Slave 2 Weeks.
What up?
What up, what up? And I'm Nefarious Stew. And this week, we tackled the 1978 classic.
Classic? Yeah, I suppose it is.
Every Which Way But Loose, starring Clint Eastwood and Sandra Locke and Jeffrey Lewis and some other folks and an orangutan. Let's get into it.
Beverly D'Angelo.
Yes.
Bev. Total Bev. Let's get into it. High level.
Any which movie but this?
Yeah, Benny, you chose it. You want to go first? Chad?
No, I need to go.
Go ahead, Chad.
I don't know. It was fine. I was very, very weird. I think maybe the thing for me was misunderstanding the movie. I didn't realize it was a comedy, which I know is the stupidest thing in the world. But I was just kind of like watching. I was like, okay. And then got to the end and was like, oh, I'll read some stuff. It was Clint Eastwood's highest grossing comedy. I was like, that was a comedy. Oh, that makes sense. So,
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's yeah. You're on point.
So it was, I don't know. It was very strange. It's amazing to me that it made the equivalent of $500 million at the box office and is still one of the highest grossing movies in history. That's interesting to me. I know.
Adjusted for inflation, yeah.
Yes. But like, that's pretty considering. So like, there's some interesting stuff. It's like, clearly the movie was broadly popular with the masses that weren't, artsy fartsy people, just like the working man. So that's interesting. And yeah, it's a punch 'em up monkey movie.
Yeah.
I definitely saw it back in the day a fair bit on the Beastmaster channel or TBS or whatever whatever you call it. But it's been a very long time, so I didn't remember. I was like, oh yeah, the monkey movie with Clint Eastwood, that one's pretty good. And then watched it, was like, whoa, all right, that's a thing. So I don't really know what I have to say about it, but it was a thing.
Cool.
Thing.
It was there.
It occurred to me that this is, I don't know, something about it, just because it kind of doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of ambles along. Like it's like Up in Smoke, but with like beer drinking rednecks instead of potheads.
Dude, that
and
is
an orangutan.
Perfect.
Like it's kind of like that, but yeah, just not.
Yeah.
The jokes aren't quite as good. I don't know. Like there are some jokes that are genuinely funny in it. Like Jeffrey Lewis is pretty funny.
He's
just kind of funny in general. Like he's just a funny looking dude, and he's just got a funny way about him. But I find myself laughing at the stuff that's probably not supposed to be funny in this movie.
Yeah, me too.
It's just, I don't know. It's just goofy. Yeah, it's very 70s. Like there's something about movies that were made in that era, and some were better than others. Like the late 70s, early 80s kind of Burt Reynolds car movie thing, and like it sort of fits in with that stuff. It's just but it's it's fucking Clint Eastwood and a fucking orangutan, and I found the fact that you were like, oh, it's a comedy is perfect. Like,
I mean, I don't know.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
That's how I feel about your Up in Smoke analogy. That's like perfect because it is. It totally is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave it there.
All right. I didn't. Okay, so I think I'll start with reading the Nuggets section 5 minutes ago, and it was like, this was the it was the first movie that did like 10 million opening weekend, like ever. It
Yeah.
was huge. And I didn't realize how huge this movie was, right? And then it was like, something blah, blah, blah on a comedy. And I was like, oh. sort of the same thing, Chad. But I was like,
nice, yeah.
Clearly after the movie, I was like, oh, all right. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess. Like, I hadn't really thought about it that way because I didn't think about it that way. I mean, it was kind of, it was more like a not serious, but like a drama movie, but with like zany hijinks in it. That's what it kind of played like to me a little bit more. Like as I was watching it, I was like, man, these bikers sure are zany, at the beginning. And then you had like a total like Chips style ending, which is, pretty on par because all that shit took place in the 70s for the most part. It's like the monkey does something silly in the end. Yeah, it was all, we almost, and the monkey does something silly and everybody goes, oh, Clyde. It was great. But so I kind of had the same experience that you did, Chad. Like, I was just like, oh, didn't really realize that. But it was good. I mean, I haven't seen a young Clint Eastwood movie in a long time, and I've never seen this movie. So it was really great to see.
You had never seen this?
Oh, I'd never seen this movie. No,
if
I did, it was probably back in the like 80s, or even the 70s.
I don't remember it,
and I just don't remember it at all. But I thought the monkey would have like kind of more to do with the story, but he didn't. And, that was it. It was an enjoyable movie. It was super easy to watch, man. Zero stress, I'll kind of leave it there.
Funny, man. I didn't actually even get the zany thing. I was just like, or the hijinks thing at all. I was just like, it's Clint Eastwood. I think if that was anybody else, I would have probably like a Burt Reynolds or, insert anyone here. I would have been like, oh, it's a funny, zany comedy. But with Clint Eastwood, I was just like, I don't know, all expecting Clint Eastwoodiness. And, the bikers, I was just like, oh, they're just have bad costumes. Like I was just like, this is just this is just like a low budget attempt,
That's where the zaniness came from. That's where I got the first zany bit. I was like, wow, these bikers, and he's chasing them around town, grabs the street sweeper. Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert described the bikers as looking like a bunch of dudes in their 50s that should have been bowling instead of riding.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is accurate.
And then the monkey thing, like it's just like a 1 minute fuck. I want him in a fight. It's like, wait, what? It's like, what? Why'd you do that? He's like, oh, well, I just, couldn't bear to see him. Couldn't bear to see him in a fucking
kind of felt bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Han Solo gets the Millennium Falcon and Clint Eastwood gets a fucking orangutan. Like what the
totally.
Like seriously, dude?
Well, I thought the orangutan was gonna be like, like I was like kind of like waiting for something to open up, and it was like, okay, he did the fight, he got the orangutan, and then he's explaining to the
basically
mom.
Just passes him beers throughout his road trip, and that's pretty much the extent of the orangutan.
Kind of, yeah. The mom, the mom was really funny, by the way. She was always getting pissed
great
and freaking out.
She was awesome. Yeah.
She was good, but like he's explaining to, I think, the mom, like, oh yeah, I won her, all matter of fact. Didn't like seeing him in that cage.
No, he was talking to his girl. I was talking to Lynn Halsey.
Okay, all right.
Taylor.
So it was the girl then, and then well, even better, because then I think I was like, okay, so now something's gonna happen. Like he's gonna take the monkey somewhere,
lose the monkey,
get the monkey somewhere, or the monkey's gonna do some zany shit, like in Monkey Trouble. You know what I mean? Like it's like the precursor to Monkey Trouble. Yeah, so I don't know. And then I was like, it didn't really do anything. The monkey just passed him beers and shit. Like gave people the finger.
The more I think about this, the more funny and stupid I find myself, because I was like, with you, I was like, all right, what's the thing? What's the drama? Because I just was completely missing the comedy to the point where it was like, wait, the cop that wants to murder him is gonna catch the fish, you know? Like I was like, okay. You know, like didn't even pick up on the fact that it was a bit, you know? I was like, oh, all right, well, redneck's gonna fish, I guess. You know,
it's like the origin of the fish slap, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, totally.
Right.
And
but I genuinely laughed at that bit.
I mean, that's pretty good, yeah.
Where he goes fucking Rambo around the lake and like.
Well, Hannah came in and sat on my lap, and she's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And I was like, "I'm watching this movie." And then there's a monkey. She's like, "There's a monkey in the movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she climbed up on my lap, and we were just watching it. And she's like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "Oh, they're best friends, you know, him and Clint Eastwood." She's like, "Okay," you know. And then like the monkey walked into the house. She's like, "Is that where the monkey lives?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Why is that guy walking around with a gun?" You know, like the hunter. And it's like, "I don't know. He wants to kill him or something." And she's like, "That's where." So, "Oh, they're fishing." And then like hits him with a fish. She's like, "Hit him with a fish." I was like, yeah. You know. And then at one stage, like they get to the zoo, and I was like, "What are they doing?" It's like, "Oh, he's gonna find him a girlfriend." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And they go in, and there's that little door. He's like, "Is that where he lives? Is that his house? His little monkey door house?" I was like, "Yeah." So like she was having a great fucking time. I had no idea what was going on, but just love that there's this like monkey best friend movie, you know, because she watches like Curious George and shit. It's completely normal for her, you know. Like,
yeah, but I think that's it. I think it's like one of those movies where like, you know, like kids really responded to Clyde, you know,
sure,
and like
sure.
You know, I remember like, you know, I know I've seen this before, you know, recently. I distinctly remember like the like doo-wop saxophone thing every time the bikers were on camera.
Yeah.
That like little theme that would play every time they came out. Like I remember that, but I didn't remember all that much about the movie. But I remember like, you know, my buddy from up the street loved it, and he loved Clyde and thought it was like the funniest thing in the world. Like,
sure.
So like, you know, I can see this being big because like people probably took their kids to see it.
We can drive in
like,
style.
you know, they got to enjoy Clint Eastwood, like, you know, fake boxing with dudes and being a tough guy, and you know, their kids got to laugh at the monkey kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's
and the
just as simple as that.
Nazi bikers go through the car wash stuff. Yeah. I should have. I'm stuck on how stupid I am. I'm like just being.
Yeah, I'm kind of picking
these
that
bikers
up too,
go through
man.
a car wash, and I was like, okay, that's a direction. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I was too. I was like, oh, they're hiding from the cops or
like
Clint
if you
Eastwood.
just assume it's like an airplane, they're
going to go all the way
movie.
through.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's not a Mel Brooks film, but if you assume it's like straight comedy, a completely different experience.
Well, I think, you know, what Ben said earlier is right. Like, you know, this is the 70s, man. Like, movies were different. The comedy was different.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of these gags are like older comedy gags from even the 60s and the 50s probably too, you know, recycled. You know how people reuse things and make them their own and reconfigure them and all that. So it's not really surprising, you know. I'm kind of feeling the same way you are, dude. I'm kind of like, wow, I'm kind of dumb, dude. Like I was doing the same thing. No, like literally, like the car wash scene. I was like, oh, all right. I was like, okay, they're going through there to hide from Clint Eastwood, and I was like, all right. So they got through. I was like, they got through the other side. Like, duh. Like it's funny.
A minute ago, you were like waiting for the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just getting a massive kick out of the fact that both of you guys were sitting there like trying to connect with this like
I was like trying to have a serious thing. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I thought it was like a fight movie because he kept fighting everybody. I was like, oh, he's just gonna like kick everybody's ass. And then they mentioned Tank Murdoch, and I was like, okay, so this must be the kind of holy grail quest of the movie. Somehow the monkey's gonna do something here, you know. And it was just kind of like
monkey
easy going, man. It's beers on a Saturday night. And a little bit of fighting, you know, like the movie's exactly like that, you know. So yeah, we're dumb.
It's
pretty much
dentures in your clam chowder, funny, you know.
Dentures in your clam chowder, totally, man.
You could have taken a turd in there; it would have gotten a better look. You said earlier you were waiting for the like monkey plot line to do something, you know, and like
take effect.
Me too. Yeah. I was like, all right, there's going to be some monkey kidnapping or some real, you know, traditional heroes arc shit
or a monkey quest.
But the best bit, and again, I missed it, was like the peak of the monkey arc was when Clint Eastwood gets shit-faced and then comes back and wakes them up thinking that he's going to go do, and he's like, we're going to go get the fucking monkey laid. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah, I was like, what's not right?
What's not right? It's just not right.
Well, he's like, you've got somebody.
You got some. You guys got each other, and I halfway got someone. Just not right.
Yeah, he takes
right
out.
about?
Clyde gives him the thumbs up, like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's just like, okay. And I'm still in the point where he gets a monkey laid at the zoo. I'm still waiting for the dramatic arc. Like, I'm still like, okay,
100%, man. I love how amused he is.
I mean, it's stupid. It's like, how fucking stupid can you be?
You know what, dude? And this is like a this is a
I don't know.
Oh my god. I totally get it, but at the same time, I feel like I played a prank on you guys or something.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
No.
You did.
We've had situations like this before, dude.
Oh my god.
It's funny.
I don't know. It does have some dark. It's dark too, though, man. It's kind of a country song, country song that's all like, sounds. It's like something you hear in the background while you're driving around job site to job site. But then when you actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, dude, we got to go check on the guy that wrote this song. I think he just killed himself. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like the darkest lyrics ever.
Sure.
Because, like the whole Lynn Halsey Taylor thing, like she's a vicious fucking dickhead, and he's just such a bumbling idiot.
Well, that was another thing too, is that like in my eternal quest for like, what's the hook? What's the major, storyline that's going to come barreling out of this movie? When he met her, I was like, oh, okay, well, he's probably going to try to get her the rest of the money so she can like open the place in Denver,
Yeah.
And then I thought he might have kind of did that at one point. He was walking out to the parking lot and he's like, gives her the envelope and there's money in it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was going to be like the thing for a minute, and it was like, nope. It really became about him kind of chasing her around and then beating the shit out of people whenever he needed a little extra cash. And I love how like he just roll up anywhere and be like to Jeffrey Lewis, he'd be like, all right, go start getting something together. There's just like, people around like ready to freaking throw down all the time.
Oh yeah. Just rock up to like a job site and
truck stop.
There's like 50 dudes standing around waiting for a fight.
Who wants to do some betting and do some fighting, and everybody's like, yeah, get a little extra cash. And
these are some of the details that probably aren't supposed to be funny that I find particularly really funny.
Totally, man. Like the whole like squirrel and the peanuts thing at the beginning with that guy in the first diner or the bar. He said, hey, look at him, his squirrel going to get his peanuts. And I was like, all right. I thought that was funny, but I don't think that was necessarily meant to be funny. Maybe. I don't know. Like,
did you know like this is actually a comedy movie, Kev?
There were things, like you said, that were probably not meant to be funny that were funny. And
that were meant to be funny. Yeah, we just
totally.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I don't know. There was, I think, like, I was drawing a parallel to, awkward thing that's supposed to be sexy that just like isn't really sexy at all. Like the,
like a chicken
grain dance from Excalibur.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like,
Yes.
No, and he like when they first like introduce Sandra Locke's character in the country bar or whatever, and she's like kind of I don't know, not greatly singing that country song.
That was really bad.
It's like
so out of tune. It's like
fucking
whoa.
Clint is like Vaseline over the fucking lens, just like, oh yeah, I gotta have her, you know.
She was terrible in that song, man.
Just totally flat, like
such a bad
not her
song,
chest, like her voice, yeah. I don't know. It was just awkwardly funny. Like it was like, okay, this is supposed to be the moment where he's like, you know, this is supposed to be the moment where like it seals the deal for him, and he's got to have her, and it's just not really.
It's anticlimactic.
Yeah,
it's not really
like,
selling it. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like it's kind of a clever twist on the like go to a strip club and fall in love with a stripper idea, you know, like the stupidity of a guy that thinks that the stripper's into you, you know.
Yeah,
like it's not that obviously, and but it kind of fits the other side of the trope where like in theory a stripper that's, you know, coming on to you is coming on to you to get money, you know, like she doesn't give a fuck about you, dude. And like in this particular case, like this character of Lynn Halsey Taylor is just kind of a con artist, you know, so it fits that exploitation piece, but it's not like, I'm glad she wasn't a stripper. It would have been way too, I don't know, stupid and obvious, I guess. Like I like the angle that it was, you know, an aspiring singer who clearly needs to take some singing lessons. The honky tonk kind of scooty fucking thing, you know?
Totally.
And then like it opens up with that like girl who's studying the Western cowboy mentality, you know, like that fucking retarded scene where Clint's trying to hit on that girl and she's like, I'd say it's two things. It's stupid and stupid. You're like, okay.
Which, to be fair, it is, but
I definitely, yeah. But like clearly the bar fights, the bar brawls, the bare knuckle boxing, the beer drinking, fucking truck fixing, whatever is like it's trying to push that macho mentality, and I could see how that would be really like enjoyable to a very broad audience. Like,
sure. But this is also like this is a macho time.
Yeah.
You know, like 78, man. This is still when
I think that was when the song Macho Man was released.
There you go.
Well, there you go, man. I mean, you had
the machoest of songs.
This was still the era of, you know, men that ate steak, drank a little whiskey, and that was about it. Some potatoes too, man. Very meat and potatoes dudes, you know.
Did not show their emotions.
No,
exactly, and
treated their kids,
unless it was anger,
like shit.
Yeah, and went around and you know, rustled up money by fighting people in the back parking lot at the truck stop. I mean, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Go from town to town and fight people.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Sometimes I drive truck.
The era of meat and potatoes men. You know, this is kind of the end of it. Because once the 80s came, it was something different.
It was very different.
So it's kind of par for the course.
Yeah, definitely. But also, he's such a simp for
such a simp
He
for
really
Sandra
is.
Bullock. Like, I mean, I hadn't seen it, and you know, like again, like I kind of remembered bits and pieces of it from seeing it when I was a kid, and then like I watched it fairly recently, and like I was like, yeah, she's taking him for a ride, man. Like I didn't remember that. I just knew, like, you could just tell that she was like not, you know.
Yeah, on the up and up.
She was not genuine, and he's just like simping for her so hard.
He was. I mean, to the point where he's kind of following her, you know.
Yeah, but
he's kind of being
innocent,
creepy,
though.
to be honest.
Yeah, really.
I went a different way with that. Like, I could see how, I could see how you would get there. But like, I've met a couple of people that are like him, like just like country boys that are real simple dudes, and like, I feel like he, despite the fucking, you know, beat him in a parking lot bullshit fest, like he's just looking for love, and he is innocently assuming that she's above board. You know, he's just so taken that he's just like, oh yeah, I'll just, you know, follow her. You know, like she didn't leave because she doesn't like me. She left because the guy that, you know, is lording over her is being overprotective. I'm going to go save her, damsel in distress. I'm like, all he's being is a fucking idiot. He's being just as stupid about this movie as I was in a different way, you know, like he's just being an idiot. It doesn't mean he's creepy per se. He's just being a fucking idiot. And at the end, I really liked where, you know, he was like, you could have just told me you didn't like me. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, he's just like, thinks that she likes him. And so he's going to follow her around. And if she had just been like, yeah, I'm not into you, he'd be like, okay. And like, he'd go back to his fights. You know? So that scene at the end where she kind of freaks out and kind of hits him and claws at him and stuff. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And he just, he was like doop a doop around the place looking for his fucking girl, you know? It was sad in a way, you know, that he was taken advantage of, but he's also like fucking beating dudes up in parking lots and shit. So like, whatever, but.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can relate as somebody who's never been particularly good at like playing the game or like, you know, trying to interpret like, you know, somebody's, whatever sarcastic layer or whatever, you know, like just kind of take things as read and you're like, okay, well, it must be good because blah blah blah, you know. And then you find out, you know, later and you're like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot.
Or the opposite is also true, where sometimes you hear about, you know, these fucking games that are being played where it's like, I really liked you, but I treated you like shit because you need to try hard to get me. And it's like, what the fuck TV and movies are you watching? Like, why the fuck would I chase it? You know, like, you're being a fucking idiot. Like,
no, that's what I'm talking about. People do that though.
Yeah, it's like, ridiculous.
I've encountered that.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, like what you said, Ben, that's really like men are like that, you know?
Yeah, the negging thing and stuff. But you can get it the
other
way too,
I mean, what he said, you know what I mean? Where it's just like you're taking everything at face value, you know what I mean? And it's like you've got women doing like what you just said, Chad.
Yeah. I mean, dudes do it too.
Like,
all,
I mean,
but
do it too, for sure.
But not as much. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. Whatever. Who knows?
Typically, no.
But
I don't think so.
I've never really encountered it per se, but like you hear about all kinds. I guess like at the end of the day, like it's interesting. It seems like a lot of people get a lot of their, you know, behaviors from the TV shows and movies and fucking sitcoms that they watch. You know, like the behavior is the, you know, like it's that like Dream On's generation that was placed in front of the TV as the babysitter. Like, if the only lessons you're being taught are from the dramatic TV shows, then you act like a dramatic fucking idiot and wonder why it ain't working. I don't know, but
I
had a lot of sympathy for Philo, even though he was a meathead. You know, like he was trying to like, I don't know, find that connection, and he thought he had it because she was playing him, and you know, like it's like, that sucks, man.
His heart was in the right place, but he was clearly blinded by his you know, his adoration. Yeah.
Sure. But I think that's too, like the other thing too, going back to what you said, you made a comment a minute ago, Ben, about like, you were like, he's a, excuse me, kind of creepy, you know? And it's like now it would be construed that way. But back then, and for a very long time, it was just chasing a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy
he wasn't
being
grab
into
assy,
a chick.
You know? Which I think is
it was a guy, he was, well, you just said it. He was into her and he was trying to find that connection and he was chasing her down. You know what I mean? Not even chasing her down, just chasing after her. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's interesting how it's changed.
Yeah. Because the Beverly, like, it was awesome to see Beverly D'Angelo. I was so happy.
So good. And I was so glad she had a big part, dude.
Yeah. And her and Jeffrey Lewis were great.
Her and Lewis too, man. I love Jeffrey Lewis.
They had a great thing going, you know, and I just love that it's like picked her up at a fruit stand, you know, it's just like, we're going east.
I know.
She just jumps in. It's like, fuck it,
She's
man.
Like, okay.
I don't know. It's the idea of like the chance to get out of the town that you grew up in, you know? Yeah, exactly.
Those are some beautiful melons.
But the thing about
once
the 70s
again, didn't notice
like,
it was a comedy.
The 70s were like that. Like people they did weird shit like that. They would just be like, all right, I'm going to go hitchhike around for a while, you know? And people are like, okay. And like you'd get picked up and it was like, okay, cool. Thanks for the ride. Like now it's like, my God.
Yeah.
You would never do it. Although somebody made a post that I saw in the last few months that was like, Back in the 70s, we used to hitchhike around with complete strangers with no phones. Now we use our phone to summon complete strangers to drive us places.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't talk to strangers. It's like, no, I'm just inviting them to my house.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I think without the Jeffrey Lewis, Beverly D'Angelo thing, it's more desperate, you know? Then maybe it is in the creepy side where it's just like this dude driving around trying to find this chick. I don't know, whatever. But the addition of those two was fun.
Totally.
Especially that Beverly D'Angelo wasn't just a tacked on character. Like I like that she shot the fucking beef. You know, she's a good shot and like drives the car around to pick them up and stuff. Like it was it was fun.
Yeah, she's like a good Bonnie.
Yeah.
She pretty much instantly becomes one of the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She fits right in.
I have a real soft spot for crew development in movies.
What do you mean? Like, you son of a bitch, I'm in? Like that?
Yeah,
kind of shit?
yeah, but like when it's just like, I don't know.
One
It's
way,
just like
yeah.
everybody should have friends. And it's like, oh, you met your best buds. Let's go on a best bud adventure, you know? And you're like, yeah.
Kind of like when Gay Perry and Michelle and Downey Jr. finally kind of teamed up and kiss. Yeah, sure.
I don't know. It's like I have a nostalgia. No,
you're right.
I mean, to cruise with your buds, you know.
Well, it's like every single movie too. I mean, look at Conan, dude. You know, Conan was alone, man. Life sucked. It was cold out there on the high plains, and then all of a sudden he met Subutai. Then he met Valeria. Then he met Akiro. You know, and it was like, yo,
making new friends, dude.
Yeah, yo.
I can't remember what it was that we were just briefly touching on a minute ago, but I think like the realization. Speaking, I mean, it's kind of like an analogy to like the girl that had a crush on you that you didn't notice in high school. You know, you're like 10 years later, you're like, wait a minute, you know, like I'm an idiot. Where like I'm thinking back on watching this movie and these scenes keep washing over me, and I'm like, wait a minute, comedy. Like Clint Eastwood steals a fucking street sweeper at some stage to chase I was like, what do you okay, like even at that point I was like, oh, all right, street sweepers are kind of slow, but I guess it's faster than running, you know. It was like, fucking read. And then the Jeffrey Lewis is like dumping fucking motorcycles in a trash truck, you know, and then when they come up to him, he just jumps out and runs off instead of driving the fucking trash truck.
Oh my god, dude, he was having so much fun with that trash truck and those bikes. Fun. It would be, you're right, and he was having a ball with it, dude. It was great.
Yeah.
Dumping those fucking AMF era fucking
Harley
Sportsters.
Totally. He was like, yeah, he was very, very happy doing that.
He was.
He was always kind of he was, again, with the hijinks, he was always kind of, you know, doing some hijinks there over on the side while Clint Eastwood was like pounding on people, you know?
I kind of want to like rename the gang the Brothers, you know, like they were very like Harley Davidson thinking they were badass, but they weren't badass in the fucking least. Brother.
The Black Widow jokes were pretty funny.
Yeah, they were.
They were pretty funny.
They were silly and they were funny.
I really liked the kind of like lanky dude that kind of had Anthony Kiedis vibes, who was always like trying to be tough, but had this like, oh, kind of look on his face whenever anyone gave him shit back. He was just like, did you hear what he said about me?
It'd be great to have a brothers motorcycle club where the patch on the back was just like, it started with the B and it just said brother.
Yeah.
And the whole back of the jacket was just U's, you know, and R's. That would be the perfect stick it to you for those.
But just like the way they react to those guys when they show up in the diner and they give them the spiel about like Black Widows kill more people than rattlesnakes or whatever, and like they're just like, yeah, okay.
Oh, thanks for letting me know about that. I usually just squash them.
Totally. He's so funny. He's so goofy, man.
He's so goofy. Yeah. Then again, the Black Widows thing, you know, they just keep trying to start shit and getting their shit pushed in, culminating in the mom. I just love the mom. Get off my lawn. And they're like, no. And then she just starts fucking blasting them, dude.
Blowing the shit out of the remaining motorcycles. Yeah.
Whoever wrote this movie really had a disdain for motorcycle gangs.
I mean,
Seriously, man.
yeah, I suppose that was the Hells Angels-y kind of time, so it was in the zeitgeist. I was like, where do I know that mom from? And she was Maud from Harold and Maude. So I was like, oh, that's right. It
Oh, that was it.
was hilarious.
Oh my God, she was really funny.
And I like how basically she just does the DMV thing like 6 times. Like there's not a whole lot going on there.
That's her subplot, yeah. And I'm glad she finally gets her license and, finally encounters a kindly older gentleman with bad teeth.
Dude, and speaking of the kindly older gentleman with horrific fucking teeth, I looked at his thing and he had 400 acting credits. He was born in 1898. I was like, fucking holy shit.
You're talking about the guy that she hooks up with?
The old lady, like the DMV guy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The old guy that she hooks up with.
Did she hook up with him?
Isn't that the guy she hooks up with?
Well,
did you watch an extended scene or something?
She's like, a picture? Oh, well, I don't have my comb. And he's like, oh, your hair looks perfectly lovely, miss. And she's like,
yeah, dude, we were just talking about that. You were just talking about how she gets together with the guy at the DMV, dude.
Were we?
Oh my God.
I didn't know she got together with him. I like it.
I don't recall them getting together. I definitely remember them flirting.
They were flirting
at the DMV. Yeah. But
yeah, whatever, dude.
But it was
know
like,
what I mean. Yes.
But that's like fucking.
All right.
That's like Sling Blade and the other chick. The scene in the gas station. What was her name? I like flowers. Okay.
Melinda, yeah. The only time my feet don't hurt is when I'm pricing items.
Fuck me, man. Well, the mom. Even the mom gets some. It ain't right. I'm gonna take the monkey to the zoo.
So wait, Chad, who was the guy that was born in 1898? The clerk at the DMV?
Yeah, the DMV guy.
I got it.
Yeah.
God
1898.
damn, 19 to 1985.
It's kind of wild to me that we got someone in the it's not an
born
80s
in the
movie,
previous century.
That's pretty crazy.
It would be wild to meet somebody and they were like, I was born in 1899.
That's just
I'd be
bananas.
like, what? Yeah, it's really cool.
So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the movie. Like, what else is there?
Not much. It's like I want to be clear. Like, I didn't dislike the movie. Like, even though I'm dumb like Chad, and I kind of thought it was, or I was searching for some like more substance or plot in this dramatic movie, and it was really a comedy. Like, I still enjoyed it quite a bit. I really liked all the ass kicking, man. Like, I really liked that there was like 20 straight up bare knuckle fisticuff fights in this movie, and some of them were great to watch, man. Like the final showdown between Tank Murdoch was great,
Yeah.
Like it was a little like I wasn't super into like the camera being like right in the middle of the two of them, I was like,
it was kind of unique for the time, though. I would say.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of like in my head. I was kind of like, yeah, we tried that too many times in the future, bro. It didn't work. You know what I mean? Like,
you're starting something here that you're not aware of, but it's not
exactly,
well.
man. You're starting something that's gonna really spiral out of control. So, but like aside from that, like I liked that stuff, man. It's just I dug the whole. Go ahead.
It's just that style of like, fight that would happen in tough guy movies in the 70s where it's just like it's all haymakers and, like.
Sure.
Like, like you can see the punch coming from like a million miles away, but somehow they still connect, and like,
totally.
It's just like all the sound effects, the.
Yeah.
Like those, like,
punching aside.
Definitely. Loud slap. Not unlike Rocky, which came out same. No, 76.
Yeah, very similar time frame though. Boxing was a big
thing
in movies at this stage.
Well, like fighting movies were like a big thing, like around this. Apparently, this kicked off a wave of like, or this was part of the beginning of a wave of like a lot of fighting movies, including the Rockies or the first couple Rockies anyway. So anyway, but I don't know. It was great to see that, like, even though I lived in part of that era. It was cool to see that era and those types of men and that type of stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like when things were simpler and like, dudes would just like eat steak and kick ass, man. You know
Eat steak and
like
beat each other.
well, I mean, because sometimes there was like literally nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Like there was no
That's
internet.
kind of it.
It was like
Yeah.
terrestrial TV. It was
the
like
kids
so
went
you
out
go
and
to
made
like
forts, and the dads went and eat steak and beat each other up on the job sites.
well, kind of. I mean, like you'd go to certain places, and it's like it would be reasonable that like a dude could scare up a fight with a bunch of random dudes, man.
Sure.
If you roll into the steel plant or the tire
Brick
factory
factory.
or whatever. Yeah, sure.
Got anyone
brick
here that
factory.
can fight?
Yeah, right.
Make some
Exactly.
bets,
All right,
make some money.
all right, you
Go and get the
bums,
local
put your
big
money
guy.
in here. I love there was one guy at the end who was like, was talking to Tank Murdoch. He's like, you're a bum. You're all washed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was kind of sweet, like that. In a way, it was sweet, and in a way, it kind of wasn't. Where Philo
He threw
threw the
it.
fight.
I thought it was cool.
Well,
It was cool, but
I don't think he was intending to, but literally right before that happens, you hear somebody say, "He's the new Tank Murdoch," and you can see this kind of look come over his face where he's like, "No, I don't want that."
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
right. Exactly. I
Like,
saw
he
that
doesn't
too,
want to be
man.
the guy. So it's like I feel like, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I feel like it was more like that was his motivation rather than he,
Sure.
then he felt
Give
bad
the guy
for
a
him,
bone.
like it was just more like, no, I don't want to be that guy. Fuck that.
that's fair. Yeah, I took it as the like throwing Murdoch a bone, and I immediately was like, okay, you let your guard down, right, and then like Tank hits you and you stay down to kind of not ruin the. I guess this was his last fight. He was retiring or some shit. But then there's like the flip side of it too, where like if you're Tank Murdoch and you're undefeated, and then at the end the guy throws the fight, that would probably chew you up more than losing. You know what I mean? So there's a lot going on in that little fight, regardless of how you take it.
I agree.
But I
Yeah.
buy what you're saying
No.
too,
There
Benny.
was. There was a bit going on there, but it was still. I don't know.
That was the end of the arc. I just think it's funny that to the Chips thing, it's like he throws the fight or whatever, and Beverly D'Angelo and Lewis are just like, oh, all right. And then it's like them driving in the truck while like all the baddies get paraded by them on the road, because that happens in the 70s movies,
Oh my God. Well, you had the king of the biker gang was in the trike that didn't have a front that was attached to the, Batmobile, and all the other guys were in there.
And then there's the Swamp Thing fucking truck, with the cops in it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tied up in a nice little bow.
Totally. Did you guys notice that like there was like ADR during the Tank Murdoch fight? Like,
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, but did you
Tons of
notice
it,
it was
yeah.
like one thing that just kept getting repeated, man? I was like, did I just hear that?
Same 3 lines.
It was like a guy going, I think he's going to be the new Tank Murdoch, or he's here to fight Tank Murdoch.
Yeah.
And they just kept, and then there was there was a reaction, and they just kept repeating that. Like, I don't know, nobody would notice.
I have an admission, actually. I have to admit that I keved out on the first 20 minutes of this movie. Where I had to go pick up a barbecue, and I was like, well, what am I going to do on the drive? And so I put the movie on in the fucking passenger seat.
Nice.
And like, I have to say, it was possibly one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. And
What?
I was like, I can't believe I'm not crashing this fucking car. Because I wasn't really like looking at the screen at all. I was just kind of listening. But you're tempted to kind of glance over from time to time. So
that's how
I love
did
that
it.
I kept out. Like, I had a narrowly avoiding death.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
And
put that down.
The thing that was kind of especially interesting about me pretending to be you is I didn't see the first 20 minutes of the movie. I listened to it, and fucking the sound is so bad in this movie, man. Like,
it's pretty terrible,
like,
man.
Weird ADR and weird sound effect. Like, it was like they fucking went into the basement of Warner Brothers and got like the fucking AOL.com CD of the 20 most used sound effects in movies. And was like, all right, creaking door, meat punch, what I mean? And just used them over and over and over again, dude. I was like, Jesus, guys.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was pretty pretty par for the
Standard
course
fare.
in that era, though.
Definitely,
Yeah, I mean,
dude.
Which I kind of like, you know.
You're talking about movie making was so different. It was all film. Like the sound equipment was not as good, not as sensitive. It was different, you know.
Well, it wasn't like Star Wars, you know. I remember the kind of first time I was introduced to like maybe modern sound where it would like they would go out and fucking smash the cables on the side of a tower to make the blaster sounds. You know, like there were dudes that were going out and recording stuff themselves instead of just pulling, you know, different shit from the archives. So
sure, but
it was
that
interesting
was
just to see a movie with terrible sound effects.
Totally. I mean, because Star Wars was, I mean, they were nerds, and that was like the dawn of like the nerds. You know what I mean? And like those guys were out there. You know, I mean, King Nerd himself was like, he didn't even have a movie out. He was just talking about a movie. He had shot some shots and put some like World War II footage in there, you know, for reference. Lucas. And then he was like, you know, the sound, I'm not really finding what I, need here with the sound. I think, I'm thinking I'm just going to create an entire sound department for the sound. You know, it's like, George, you don't have any money. There is no movie yet. He's like, okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and do that anyway. You know, and then it's like, okay, dude.
Love
there
it.
you go, Skywalker sound.
Yeah, I mean, the sound design for Star Wars movies is just like unbeatable, really.
Legendary.
Totally.
That's probably the first time anybody did anything like that, really. So.
That's that's
really
what
put that kind of thought into it. Yeah, it was really good.
Not here.
Bits and bobs. What
I
else?
kind of think it adds to the charm.
No.
This cheese dicky sound kind of adds to it here. And being a comedy, maybe they were leaning into it, you know? Like,
well, I mean, if there's one thing this movie's got, it's charm by the bucket load, you know? It's charm.
Well, it's like the scene in Blazing Saddles where they go into the courtroom and everyone in the audience says rhubarb over again, rhubarb, to make the crowd noise, you know? Like, it was an intentional piss take on the idea of, you know, extras. And like, you could see, I'm stretching here, but you could see them being like, let's add the ADR to the Tank Murdoch fight scene in a way that's shitty because it's a comedy. Like maybe, probably not.
Maybe. I doubt it.
Because it was some pretty fucking bad ADR.
Definitely. But people weren't going like nerd deep on jokes like that quite yet.
I guess.
But perhaps you are right.
Yes.
I kind of feel like my favorite is the two knucklehead cops culminating in the fish slap. Like,
dude, they were so dumb, and I'm so dumb too, because like I just didn't get it, man. You know, I really just missed it, and I was like, okay, now he's got the biker gang pissed at him. Now he's got the cops after him. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is going to be the thing, you know, and just not really realizing it's like it's supposed to be funny. Like you guys were talking about the fishing scene. Like the whole time, I was like, these guys are going to blow this guy away.
Yeah,
like that's what my head was.
I was,
you should be laughing, Ben, because it's funny.
Both of you guys thought you were watching like Easy Rider or something. Like,
I know, not exactly that, but
happen.
I legit.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, they're sneaking through the woods, and then the one guy sees the rattlesnake, and then the other guy sneaks right up on him. He's like, "Oh, I got you now!" And then he's like, "Give me the rod." And I was like, "Oh, wow, he must be really into." I'm so stupid. I must be really. I'm going. He must be really into fishing. He must be super into fishing. Oh, and then Clint Eastwood got the better of him because it's a fighting movie, right? Because that's when he decks him, right? The guy falls in the water, and I was like, yeah, because it's a fighting movie. Okay, what happens next? Like, I'm like, not getting it.
Did either of you guys get a little bit sad when they pushed that truck into the water? I was like, oh, that's
really, really sad,
bro. I got kind of sad about
that. I love that bit. I love the whole, you know, Clint going fucking Rambo and like, you know, the Tarzan bit, you know, where he does like scream in the middle of it. But then when he pushes that GMC like proto Fall Guy truck into the lake, I was definitely that was sad. Yeah,
dude,
that was sad.
I am okay. Here's how dumb I am, right? That scene ends, and I'm like, okay, and it's, you know, Clint Eastwood hits him because it's a fighting movie, right? And then I hear the and I was like, huh, what's that? I was like, I wonder if that's Jeffrey Lewis being a goofball across the lake. That's how dumb I am. No, you really nailed it, bro. We're really stupid.
I love that you guys like thought you were like watching Deliverance or something.
Yeah, it did, man.
Well, I mean, not quite Deliverance, you know, but like there was another movie that I took totally the wrong way, man. And the whole time you guys were like, dude, chill out. It's just like, I think it was that horror movie on Halloween we did, The Void, and I was like, oh, this movie's so fucking dumb, man. It sucks. And Ben was like, yeah, dude, it's supposed to suck. It's a dumb dumb horror movie, you know? And I was like, no, it sucks for real. You know, like that was another movie like that.
Yeah.
And this is just stupid, man. Yeah. Wow.
Watch it again sometime with a beer and, you know, just relax.
I think that's it. Yeah. I think if I had a beer, yeah.
It's an easy-going movie, and I wish I had a beer. I'd have gladly drank it, I'll tell you what.
Well, there is a sequel, so...
Yeah.
Any which way you can.
We need to do that now, even though I don't really want to.
It might be better, you know? Like,
it might be.
One of my things...
They say it is.
They hit the tone right that time, you know? Like,
I love that there's a sequel to this. They were like, we made so much money on the Clint Eastwood monkey movie that we're going to make another one.
I know.
Just love the idea. Like, what could you possibly fucking do other than beat people up in a parking lot?
I'm looking at I'm looking at the trailer playing while on the side of the screen.
The Nazi bikers are back in that next one too.
The leader of the biker gang is the same dude, and Jeffrey Lewis and Sandra Locke are in it. I mean, it's yeah,
it's the same goddamn movie.
Yeah,
the bikers look better.
Clint can be funny, you know, like
yeah, man,
definitely, dude.
He was like definitely funny in Heartbreak Ridge, you know. Like
I was just about to say that.
He plays it super straight, but if you get him to do it right, if you direct him right, like he can be
definitely,
you know, he can play it straight and be funny, you know,
and not be a hard ass too.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like they just kind of didn't hit the tone right in this movie, you know. Like I appreciate what they were going for. I like these kinds of, you know, like 70s punch 'em up, you know, beer drinking, fucking good old boy sort of movies, you know, like there's just something charming about those old movies. So, you know, this isn't the best one, but it's, you know, whatever. It's fucking Clint Eastwood and an orangutan. Like, what more do you want?
You thinking? Right? Yeah, exactly. What do you expect is going to happen?
What do you expect you're going to get from it? Yeah.
I don't remember if it was funny or not, but I remember enjoying Pink Cadillac, you know, and so like, you know, he's often gruff and cool, fine. Everyone expects him to be Dirty Harry, but like, yes, he can be funny and stuff like this. But I also remember just enjoying him in like a Pink Cadillac. So like he can be not a gruff douchebag, you know.
Definitely, dude. And I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Then again, later on, like that's what you associate him with, you know. Like I wasn't really familiar with a lot of the old Dirty Harry stuff or the spaghetti westerns. Like I've seen them in passing and stuff. I've never really been obsessed with them. But my dad's really into his more recent movies, you know, like The Mule and like all, you know. So when he came and visited last year, we watched like fucking 3 of them, and they're good. But it's just him being like a gruff old racist nom-vet or some shit in like every movie he's in as an old dude, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see the comedy side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Deadpool had some, and I'm talking about the, you know, Dirty Harry movie, The Deadpool. Sorry, I saw that. I saw that in the theater. I remember that. Like, yeah, like I don't know, Heartbreak Ridge, like any movie, like, you know, where you have a good dramatic actor, like where you have a good dramatic actor like Clint Eastwood. It's like if you write funny lines in it, playing it straight, you know, just reading the lines, it's going to be funny, man. You know, and it's like he nailed that, and you know, again, like in Pink Cadillac, dude. You know, it's like he can totally be funny. It's great. You know,
I don't know, man. This one definitely, like, I don't know. I'm glad we watched it, but it was also, it had that like, oh yeah, the monkey one, you know, before I had seen it again. So like, I definitely remember it being in his pantheon of movies. Which kind of makes sense considering how popular it was in terms of like money. So like they would have been all over TBS and shit, syndicated. So it kind of makes sense that you encounter it just in passing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys? Yep. I have to assume it was like our dad's generation where it was like the obsession with the Dirty Harry stuff and the spaghetti westerny stuff. Were you guys spend any time in either of those?
A little bit. I've seen a couple of the Dirty Harrys, and I have not. I mean, I've seen all the spaghetti westerns. I haven't seen them to
Just
the point
haven't
where I
obsessed
know
about
them
yeah.
by heart. Yeah, no, definitely not.
I've definitely spent some time in that world. You know, it's like there's like an era that like I'm not a part of, but like you know, like Clint is kind of one of those guys where it's like he's your dad's tough guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like our tough guy was like Arnie or, you know, or whatever. But yeah, like you got like Clint Eastwood or like Charles Bronson or, you know,
Totally, dude.
You know, Wee Marvin and like, you know, like all those like the dudes from that era, like those
John
tough
Wayne
guys, you know. Yeah, totally. So I don't know. Yeah, like there's like I loathed that shit when I was a kid, you know. I was like, I want to watch this shit, Dad. I want to watch fucking Star Wars or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
but I've like come to appreciate it more as I've gotten older, you know. Like
yeah, so, I feel that way about like
a
lot of the McQueen stuff, or you know, maybe like the Paul Newman McQueen stuff.
Yeah, I've spent a little more time in that world, and this kind of fits in there too.
Yeah,
it's that kind of movie.
Definitely.
I don't want to get too on this fucking cul-de-sac, but I just kind of miss ridiculous movies like this.
Yeah.
Like I was reading about Sandra Locke, and like, I don't really think it's worth getting into. I guess she and he had a real hard time, like in a relationship, and things went really sour or whatever. But like, she made a movie called Rat Boy that like, I think we might need to do sometime. And it's about like a woman who finds like a half human, half rat in like the sewers of New York. Like it's like proto Ninja Turtles or whatever, you know, like it's like, what did you do? Like, what did you make?
Yes.
And I fucking find it hilarious that you could get Rat Boy or Any Which Way But Loose funded, you know, like it's like, wait, you're going to do what? You're going to go beat people up and bring a monkey with you and drink beer on Saturdays? Like, okay, here's $3 million, you know. I just fucking love it, man. I kind of feel like it's like a cocaine bear, you know. Like I like it when they do really dumb shit.
Yeah. Oh, she was in the Planet of the Apes, the TV series, the OG, back in '74. Nice.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Rat Boy. Yeah, did I say Rat Boy? It's Rat Boy. I don't know.
Yeah, 1986, Rat Boy. Oh my God. Oh, we have to do
like
this.
if you see the images.
I've seen this.
Have you?
I know this. Yeah. I recognize the Rat Boy for sure. I don't remember anything about it, but I recognize the Rat Boy.
You're gonna be great, Rat Boy. I know. I recognize the Rat Boy too.
So that was a thing.
She directed it.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Crazy.
And like, I guess, you know, like I have no ill will towards her whatsoever. I just find the movie ridiculous having not seen it. And I guess afterwards they were like, it's a misunderstood movie. And they chopped it to hell in the editing room. It's like, yeah, okay. But like, I don't know if it was ever really going to go anywhere. It's very,
it was a movie that was before its time.
And after its time.
And in between its own time.
Louis Anderson's in it, though.
Hey.
Louis Anderson is in it.
First, you start with the
Robert Townsend's in it. Remember him from the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'm going to chuck that on the schedule just because we'll never do it.
Dude, Christopher Hewitt. Was that Mr. Belvedere? Holy smokes. It was, bro. Mr. Belvedere, also of Fantasy Island fame, is in Rat Boy. Oh, Larry Hankin's in it, too. He played the neighbor in Friends and a bunch of character actor parts. He's been in many, many things. Oh, yeah, this is chock full, dude. Anyway, bits and bobs? No? Or we anything else? Can we cram anything else into bits and bobs? Is that a yes?
The kind of fucked up scene where Clyde tries to murder Jeffrey Lewis because he won't give him any beer with under the tow truck.
Yes.
Where he's like shaking it and Jeffrey Lewis freaking out. And then like he gets away. Clint's like, I thought I told you not to give him any beer. I don't know.
Except for Saturdays.
Yeah.
Only give him beer on Saturdays.
I love that. Like any Clint Eastwood I do now is basically Gunny Highway.
Always Gunny Highway, dude.
Which is Clint Eastwood doing a voice, you know?
Clint Eastwood doing
Clint Eastwood. It is. It's Clint Eastwood doing a different Clint Eastwood.
I like the diner waitress. I think was it just the one waitress or multiple waitresses where like the Nazi bikers would go into them and the waitresses would all be super sassy and shit. And then one was like, you want a slice of pecan pie when you get back from beating those Nazis' asses? He's like, yeah, that'd be good. The local townsfolk take them on. I just love that.
I like the one that's like, if you want to talk, you can walk. If you want to eat, you can have a seat.
Take a seat.
Whatever,
Yeah.
That was it. No, that was it. I was just trying to think of it. That was it.
Yeah.
I like that. That was great.
If you want to talk, take a walk. If you want to eat, have a seat.
And then just like the regular old redneck dudes hanging out there just end up beating the shit out of the fucking bikers.
Kick the shit out of them.
Oh man, it was really great. Like watching them bikers get tooled on like that. Man, they were getting stepped on everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like the whole movie. Like really, it might be described as like good old boys beat the shit out of bikers.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the bikers they just get kicked around everywhere they go, man.
It's like Warriors, but like Warriors, but there's only two gangs. It's the bikers and the pickup driving good old boys.
Yeah,
that's right. That is right.
I miss the sassy waitress thing. Maybe it's still there, but I haven't encountered any like gruff diner waitresses in a long time. I used to really enjoy that. Now they have to like make the fucking restaurants where like they put on the show where you have to be gruff in order to be the waitress there. It's like Disney ride style, where you go to the place and they treat you like shit. It's like that's not the same, dude.
No, you only get a surly server like that when they've been called toots too many times.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
It's like there's a genuine era where you got that kind of proper surliness.
Totally.
Like, when people.
You'll have some in our generation, but I think once our generation goes, that's it.
They're gone.
There's not gonna be any more waitresses like
We used
that.
to,
Like I had a waitress at a diner down in Stanford, and her name tag said "Oh Miss." Like "Oh Miss," like clearly she was just like,
"Try me, honey." Yeah,
fed it out. Yeah, exactly. Bring it on. Go ahead. One of you guys was about to say.
I mean, it's a character. It's a character you know and love. At the same time, it's like, do you want them to have to go through the shit they have to go through to get there?
Not really.
Kind of don't.
Unless they like it. I don't.
We used to. My favorite pizza place in Boston, Regina's. It's the only one. Fuck Santarpio's. Used to have the waitresses in there would just be like, "What do you want?" It was just the best.
Yeah, right.
I used to love it, dude.
Totally.
It was so good. But I think you're right, Benny. It's like how much they had to go through to get there. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like job site culture, Like I remember you're the cut bitch for so long.
Culture.
No, it is though. Like you join the job site, and you're like, don't touch anything with shorter than a 6-foot handle. Grab that fucking broom. See you in 3 months. And then you're cut bitch. You just get numbers yelled at you all day. And then a year in, one day, all the guys that treat you like shit every day are like all of a sudden nice to you because you're in now. And then the next new guy comes, and you're incentivized to treat them like shit. Like it's just this vicious cycle
Billy,
of bullshit.
Go up and nail that to the wall.
Yeah.
You're one of the gang now.
Scaffolding.
It ain't like that anymore.
No,
yeah,
no, it wasn't my
dude,
day.
it's not like that. No,
no,
nowhere.
no.
It's not like that anywhere.
I was like that. Like I definitely gave as good as I got once I
you do,
climbed the
yeah.
ladder, and then. Sure. And then I was like, I hurt some feelings, and I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Just stops.
Let's just end it here.
Let's just not do that.
Yeah.
It's a different time. It's a different time. But
I
love that waitress. She was great.
100%. Yeah, she was.
Can't leave.
What else? Bits and bobs.
That's probably about it, man. I mean,
some great old fucking vehicles in this.
There was
definitely,
and just the motorcycles too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Ben on the bikes.
Well, I'm fine with them being terrible bikes. Like I'm not even saying that they're lust-worthy bikes. They're just like, oh, those are some fucking shitty bikes. I kind of like it
because they were they were sort of like awful. Yeah. Okay, I'm with that.
A load of shitty AMF era Harley Davidsons.
Right.
All chopped out
and like the the trikes, with the weird 70s fiberglass that had like
trike
the glitter in
Kind
it.
of charming in its own way,
Right.
But they turned like an amusement park ride, had
Had a baby with a Harley.
They took the cart from like the Tilt-A-Whirl or something and turned it into a fucking motorcycle,
Come on,
trike,
show me
whatever.
that,
Yeah, with that like glitter 70s fiberglass, it's so great. That stuff is iconic.
That scene where the mom is shooting him up when they're trying to intimidate her in the trike. They must have shot like 2 or 3 takes of the trike guy doing a wheelie, and they just used it like 8 times in that scene.
Yeah.
Man. Him just blasting by.
Or like, I loved how like gigantic the explosions from the shotgun were like grenades, dude. Yeah. Like she'd hit the bike and it was like.
It was great.
Yeah. I mean, there were even some like Japanese bikes in that gang. Like, I don't know how that would ever fucking fly in any.
Not in those days.
Oh
no, not even now. Like Harley dudes are so fucking snotty most of the time. Like, show up driving like a whatever. Yeah, a fucking like they might accept like a BMW or a Triumph, but not really.
Yeah, but the other vehicles were great. I like the like fucking double toe mate or fucking car chase.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
Clint Eastwood's driving his old fucking Ford or whatever, and
old Chevy. Yeah.
Janky, slow car chase. Yeah.
Yeah. Like smacking into the side of
slow vehicles,
Yeah.
Kind of like Mike Myers and Austin Powers running over that guy. All right, NDR.
I don't think I have. I read all the nuggets. There wasn't really much.
I read nothing really jumped out. We already said the things that I was most interested in about the
first
budget.
movie to make 10 mil on its opening weekend is wild to me, but
yeah, and then also that this was his highest grossing movie to date, adjusted for inflation, ever. Wild. Like that's wild, dude. Because he's had, I mean, everybody knows. I mean, you look at his pedigree. Even just from now until like, I don't know what, 2000, it's like incredible movies, man. Like all those movies were so good, the ones he made, and then it's like he was in so many other good ones before that, the entirety of the Dirty Harry series, like all these different things. And it's like that movie was the one that grossed more money than anything. And the only other thing that caught me that was related to that was that this movie, when they released it, was playing unbelievably well in small theaters, like in the Midwest, in small towns. Yeah, like it was super popular, man.
I could see that. Like,
this is cool.
A total
big
surprise.
Yeah,
right.
You totally would throw the family in the car and watch this drive-in style or take a date to it or whatever.
Definitely.
Back in the day, no doubt. Any other nugs? I got no nugs. Deaths?
Nah, not really. Only had one death. It was yours. The narrowly avoiding death. Your pre-show. That was it. Kind of a low-key situation.
That's all right.
No, it's all right. Totally. Recommendations.
I mean, now that I know it's a comedy, I think I would recommend it.
I would recommend it regardless, man.
I wouldn't have before. I was like, kind of like, it was all right. But I think if you go in fully aware that it's ridiculous comedy and you're not stupid like me, I think, and you drink a beer while doing it, I think you'll have a great time.
Sure.
I feel like it's like
going out, get yourself a 6-pack of Coors and not the original shit.
I was gonna say like you could kind of cosplay the 80s here, and you could like get a fucking Hungry Man fucking frozen dinner and microwave it and drink a couple of Coors. And it would be disgusting. And you'd be like, why the fuck did I make this decision? But it would kind of work.
It would. And you could also, this was also the era of like, when you'd go into a bar and you'd say, the guy will say, what do you have? And he'd go, a beer. And it was, you just got a beer.
Got a beer.
There was no like, can I have your craft beer menu?
I kind of like it hobby,
quite
but not
expensive and over 100 beers.
Yeah.
None of that. It was like one beer. It was Schlitz.
6 Schlitzes.
Which IPA out of the 7,000 IPAs we have on tap would you recommend?
Exactly.
Well, I'd start with the hobby one.
I was thinking about something a little more hazy this week.
They got that cylinder
Do you
full
have
of hops
anything
that they
that
pour the
tastes
beer
like I'm
through.
chewing on a tire? I want it like super bitter. Like I just want to feel like I've walked up next to a bus and started licking the tires. That's the beer I
Oh my
want.
god, dude. Great.
It tastes like burnt hot rubber. Then I'm in.
Tastes like used devil sticks.
That's great. Used hot devil sticks.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, all right. So next week,
special guests.
Next week we have special guests, the Rolling Stones. That's right, folks. They're back and they're packing some heat. They've chosen the movie Kingpin, which is a personal all-time favorite of mine.
My second
Seen
favorite
it about a
bowling
zillion.
movie.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely, right? Another great bowling movie.
Or my second favorite
where the bowling even
movie
takes a little more
featuring
center
bowling.
stage. Yeah. So gear up for that. And we're excited for that. That'll be a good show.
My third favorite is Bowling for Columbine.
There you go. So fucking morbid, dude. Holy shit. You're so wrong. I love it. Well, there
Just
you have
about
it,
to start
folks.
talking about Big Earl McCracken, and
Yeah,
I'm not
right?
going to do that now.
Exactly. You just ruined
Big
it.
Earn.
Yeah, Big Earn. Dude, whatever. I'll
Hey.
save that for next week. Yeah, hey.
Hey,
Hey.
not you.
So good.
Did you guys?
This is like
I
not
imagine you
you.
didn't see this,
Bill-
Benny. Did you
Bill
see the
Murray
Jesus
Prime.
movie? The Jesus Rolls Lebowski
No,
spin-off movie?
we talked about that.
No,
Did we?
no, I never saw it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
One of these days, but
Turturro directed.
one of these
Not
days.
right now.
Yeah, right on. Cool. So yeah, Stallone's, dude. Excited about that.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be good.
This is the Last Crusade. You chose wisely with their movie choice.
Yes, that's right. So that'll be excited. So get excited for that. And
all I
that's
have to
it.
say about that.
Thanks for joining us for Every Which Way But Loose. We'll see you next week for Kingpin with the Rolling Stones. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this week's episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/303. Additionally, if you are a fan of the show and you would like to help us out or contribute or pass the gospel around about the word of EBD, you can do so in a number of great ways. You can rate us and review us, which is very powerful. You can also walk around your town putting up posters. You can tell people to check out the show. And you can also contribute directly on Patreon. That's right. Buy us a cup of coffee. Additionally, if you would like to join in on the zany fun on social media, you can on Instagram at EBD Podcast. And that's all. Thanks for joining us for Every Which Way But Loose. We'll see you next week for Kingpin with the Stallones. So long for now, folks.
One for C-Lab, 2 for Trujillo, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.